The containment field hummed with barely restrained energy as Elsa pressed her scaled hand against the observation window. Inside, the human sat motionless on the sterile bench, his eyes closed as if meditating. William, they called him. The anomaly that had turned the Galactic Council's understanding of evolutionary biology on its head. His DNA still doesn't match? Commander Vexthor asked, his mandibles clicking nervously. Elsa shook her head, her reptilian features creasing with fascination. As the Council's chief xenobiologist, she had analyzed genetic codes from 17,000 species across 42 galaxies. Nothing had prepared her for this. Not a single species in our database. His genome is unprecedented. Yet every predator we've exposed him to recognizes him immediately as Apex. 3 cycles ago, William's small exploration vessel had drifted into Council space, engines dead, life support failing. They had rescued him expecting another cataloged species from the outer rim. Instead, they found something that shouldn't exist. The testing had begun almost immediately. First, they exposed him to the Carthax, 6-legged hunters from the death world of Krath Prime. The massive creatures, each weighing over 400 kilograms, had taken one look at William and retreated to the corner of their enclosure, whimpering like hatchlings. Then came the Void Stalkers, silicon-based predators that feared nothing in the known universe. They circled William once before fleeing through their access port, refusing to return even when starved for 3 days. It makes no sense, Elsa muttered, reviewing the data again. His species lacks natural weapons. No claws, no fangs worth mentioning, no venom, no armored hide. By all metrics, they should be prey animals, yet every killer in the galaxy knows better. Vexthor finished. William opened his eyes then, blue like the oceans on water worlds, and looked directly at Elsa. She felt her survival instinct scream at her to step back. Though 3 inches of reinforced transparent aluminum separated them, that gaze carried something ancient, something that bypassed conscious thought and spoke directly to the most primitive part of her brain. "May I speak with him?" Elsa asked. Vexthor's compound eyes widened. "That's against protocol. We don't understand what he is. Precisely why I need to speak with him." She overrode the commander's objection with her security clearance and entered the containment chamber. William stood as she entered, moving with an economy of motion that predators use to conserve energy. He was neither large nor particularly muscular by galactic standards, yet Elsa's every instinct told her she was in the presence of something dangerous. "You want to know why they fear me," William said. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "Your DNA suggests you're herbivorous. Your eyes face forward like a predator, but your teeth are omnivorous at best. You have no natural defenses, yet the galaxy's most efficient killers won't even enter the same room. Explain." William smiled, and Elsa understood why the Void Stalkers had fled. It wasn't the expression itself, but what it implied: confidence, calculation, and the complete absence of fear. "My species doesn't hunt with claws or fangs," William began, pacing slowly. "We hunt with something far more dangerous: persistence and intelligence. On my world, we ran our prey to death. Not fast sprints, but hours of relentless pursuit until they collapsed from exhaustion. We tracked them across continents if necessary. We learned their patterns, predicted their movements, and never ever gave up." He paused at the window, looking out at the stars. "We climbed to the top of our food chain not because we were the strongest or fastest, but because we were the most terrifying. We domesticated wolves, the apex predators of their time, and turned them into companions. We drove species to extinction not through malice but through sheer determination. We conquered every environment on our planet, from frozen tundras to scorching deserts." Elsa felt her tail twitch involuntarily. "That doesn't explain the recognition. You're unknown to our databases, am I?" William turned to face her. "Or is my kind so ancient, so widespread, that recognition of us is burned into the genetic memory of predators across the galaxy? Tell me, Elsa, when did predatory species first appear in your database?" She accessed her neural implant, scanning. "The earliest confirmed predator species evolved approximately 400 million cycles ago on—" She stopped, her blood running cold. William nodded. "My people have been exploring space for much longer than your council knows. Long before we had faster-than-light travel, we sent generation ships into the void. Some reached other worlds, seeded life, influenced evolution. Others simply hunted among the stars. You're saying humanity left an imprint across the galaxy?" I'm saying that every predator knows us because at some point in their evolutionary history, something very much like us taught their ancestors what true fear meant. That knowledge doesn't die. It gets coded into DNA, passed down through millions of generations. When they look at me, they don't see a human. They see the memory of something their ancestors couldn't escape, couldn't fight, couldn't outlast. Elsa's scales rippled with involuntary fear pheromones. What do you want? Why come to council space? William's expression softened. The same thing my people have always wanted. To explore, to learn, to reach beyond our grasp. We're not conquerors anymore, Elsa. We evolved past that. But the memory of what we were? He gestured toward the observation window where Vexthor watched nervously. That doesn't fade. It can't. It's too useful for survival. I'll recommend your release, Elsa said quietly, but the council will want to know more about humanity. About your history. They will, William agreed. And I'll tell them everything, because the universe should know what we were, what we became, and what we still carry within us. Every species deserves that warning. As Elsa left the containment chamber, she understood finally why the predators feared him. It wasn't his present capabilities that triggered their instincts. It was the shadow of human history stretching back through eons, a history written in the survival mechanisms of 1,000 worlds. William was right. His DNA might not match their database, but every predator in the galaxy knew exactly what he was. The species that taught the meaning of apex. And that knowledge could never be forgotten.